harvested along the Bosque riverbank, and we're going to try an alternative to removing the glochids, the microscopic little tufts of spine that you can see are what look like little white spots. From everything that we've read, they're quite painful if they touch your skin. The traditional manner in which to remove the glochids by indigenous people around the world is to place them in a woven basket and rotate the basket with running water, and the abrasion of the fruit rotating in a woven basket will remove the microscopic spines. Other techniques that are used are to take a colander, a steel or plastic colander, and under running water place some of the prickly pear fruit, and again rotate them, and the fruit, as it were, bumping into each other as they're being rotated, will remove the glochids. We are going to try an alternative method that we think perhaps might work. Is a salad spinner. Nothing unusual about our salad spinner. It has the plastic insert colander with a plastic bowl on the outside, but we are thinking with the centrifugal force of spinning that it might aid in the removal of the glochids. So let's give it a try. So Dan is he's already placed 6 of the prickly pear fruits, the tunas, in the salad spinner, and now is just going to place the top of the salad spinner, and with the traditional spinning motion, see if this in fact removes these very, very painful spine. We did put about 1/4 water in, and I think it's going to need a little more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a lot more than that.
I think it'll work better with less water in it.
Less water, so we're gonna, again, this is an experiment, so we're gonna just pour some into a plant, and Dan's lowered the water level by about half, and now is going to put the top back on and spin it somewhat forcefully, the same way we rinse out any of our greens. And I think maybe even more than that. I would not want to. The point is, when you touch it, you could get one of these or many of these spines in your skin, and it's truly an irritant. How does it look?
Well,
Do you want to spin it a little bit more, or?
I don't think the water really helps.
Oh, really? Okay, so we're removing
So
all of the water.
It looks like it came off, but do a little more, then we'll do a close-up.
We did some additional reading that Dan's just shaking it.
Okay, I think that action actually helps more. So let's go ahead and take a look at one, and I'll try to do a close-up, and then we'll compare with one that hasn't been spun like that. Let me try to focus in here. Bear with me while I focus.
The different techniques that we read about is using a propane torch and, as it were, burning the glochids off, or also could be used to remove the spines on the cactus the prickly pear cactus pads or the nopal. So that's definitely one way. Another person suggested tweezers. But this was the method that, again, goes back generations of just spinning it in a woven basket, and we are using a salad spinner instead. So,
Okay, now I'm going to pick up one that hasn't been spun yet. Let's see if we see a difference.
so they seem a little bit more raised. Definitely, where the juice is coming through, where it's just that
Okay.
nice red, purple.
We'll go and try some more like that.
And so you're thinking,
I think that got rid of them. I mean, I don't feel any here.
and do you think it's the spinning motion or
I
the
think
shaking?
it's just rubbing against the plastic without water.
Okay.
Seems to work.
Do you want to try it with the spinner again, just to, as it were, see?
Well, I think just I got 6 in here.
Okay, this is with the spinner.
I think it works better than this. And then maybe
No, they're definitely there.
you're still on there?
Yes.
No, I don't see any on here.
Really?
They seem to get rid of them to me.
Do you want to try spinning them just to see?
So once it starts spinning, it's that action that's actually knocking them off. I
Okay,
think.
so it's not. So when they're spinning in the salad spinner, they're going against the rim and they're not really hitting each other.
Right. So I think that's what's really cleaning them off. And I'm holding this and I'm not getting any thorns in my hands. But I'm going to play it safe.
And use the tongs.
Yeah.
So we have about, we said 3 kilos.
Yeah, about 3 kilos.
And so all the fruit is very ripe, firm. We haven't
Look at one of these. If I look closely at them, I don't really see too many.
well, they're there because they do say microscopic.
Yeah.
So we will continue this until we finish and get back when we start to actually slice the fruit open. As a precautionary measure, we've brought the prickly pear fruit inside and we're doing a second rinse of the Glow Kids. We ran them under water, and then what Dan is doing at this time is placing about 10 of them in the salad spinner, and we're doing, as it were, a second spin as a precautionary measure. So we'll give it a spin. When we touched the first batch with our bare fingers, the Glow Kids seemed to be removed, and we're assuming that that would be the case now with the second batch.
But just in case I'm
But
wearing
just in
gloves.
case, Dan is wearing gloves, because as I mentioned previously, these microscopic Glow Kids are very, very painful and a skin irritant, so to be avoided at all costs. So this is what seems to be the last batch of fresh prickly pear fruit, in Spanish known as the tuna. We haven't decided how we're going to use the fruit. An ideal way is any kind of marmalade or jellies. There's all kinds of recipes available. Paletas or popsicles is also a wonderful way to use prickly pear fruit. But we were thinking of something truly an alternative possibility with the nopal fruit, and that would be in Belgian waffles. So we'll see how we do. We first have to peel them, remove the fruit and the tiny black seeds, which we would like to germinate to plant our own prickly pear cactus in the spring. But this is our final batch that we're going to send through the salad spinner, so take a look. The prickly pear plant is completely edible, the pads and fruit. They're high in vitamin C and other minerals. The prickly pear is also known for its antioxidant attributes, and for diabetic patients, apparently also very, very medicinal. So we're interested in the flavor and the vitamins that we can have from the fruit. So there is our final product, and Dan still has his gloves on for obvious reasons. Right now what we're going to do is peel the fruit. We have to slice either end and then make a vertical slice down the fruit and open it up and extract the fruit. So that's what we'll be doing next. Okay, we are now slicing the last dozen of our prickly pear fruits, and as you saw initially, we were erring on the side of caution. Dan was using some gloves just in case our idea of using a salad spinner to remove the glow kids did not work as planned, but we soon realized that it worked perfectly well. There are no microscopic thorns, and so now we can easily handle them with our bare hands and not with gloves. So after the first about 10 where Dan was wearing gloves, he removed the gloves and had no difficulty, and I've also been cutting along with Dan. We have quite a bowl of compost material there in the bowl, and then we have the fruit. I've been scooping out the seeds, and our plan with the seeds, after we rinse them and let them dry, we would like to plant them inside our home and then transfer them in the spring. We're not, again, sure. This is all new territory and prickly pear growth, so we'll see how we do. So again, you can see Dan is staying with a knife, and initially he tried our regular vegetable peeler, and he felt that it was faster and more expedient to remove the peel with a knife. Yeah. We have removed the outer skin of the prickly pear fruit. You can see that inside you have the very small black seeds. They are very, very hard. So what we have opted to do is just take a spoon and scoop them out, and then I'll just use my fingers to feel that I've removed them. And before we do anything with the fruit, we'll double check. So just on one side, you can see that there's quite a few seeds. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to use these seeds to germinate new prickly pear plants. The prickly pear fruit, commonly known in Spanish as the nopal, is all set to be used as a juice or in jelly or marmalade recipes. We're going to try using chopped prickly pear fruit in sourdough Belgian waffles. So we peeled and extracted most of the seeds. As you can see, they're straining here in a small sieve. We plan to germinate these prickly pear seeds later on. First we'll dry them thoroughly and then take them out and put them in small planting pots. So over here you see the sourdough sponge. Usually we just mix in shredded carrots and walnuts in our sourdough. It's a sourdough rye starter that we're using. But this time we thought we would add the flavors and textures of the nopal. So we're not going to use the entire bowl because we'd like to try other recipes with our fruit, but we are going to put in at least a couple of cups. So we'll continue now chopping, taking out all the seeds as we go. We've added 4 cups of shredded carrots and 4 cups of chopped walnuts. Now we're going to make the addition of our seeded chopped prickly pear fruit, and we're just going to pour them in, trying to get all the excess juice. We also have some additional juice. Just a very small amount, I would say approximately 1/4 of a cup. We're just going to pour that into our sourdough waffle. So we left our sourdough sponge overnight with our rye starter. We have half white, half whole wheat flour. And now we're going to just mix all of our ingredients, the prickly pear fruit, carrots, walnuts, and shortly we'll be cooking a batch of Belgian waffles, perhaps for the first time, using fresh, organic prickly pear fruit. Our first Belgian waffle with our 2 cups of prickly pear fruit, and we're going to open up our waffle maker and take a look. And looks good, and we'll take it out in just a minute and try it.